I just want to remind everybody how passionate Trump is about the border. Remember this spar with Pelosi and Schumer? If not, I'm going to give you a refresher.
You know what? We need border security. That's what we're going to be talking about, border security. If we don't have border security, we'll shut down the government. This country needs border security. The wall is a part of border security. Let's have a talk. We're going to get the wall built, and we've done a lot of wall already.
How big a part of border security is the wall?
It's a big section. It's a big part of it.
Is it everything that you need?
It's a big part of it. We need to have effective border security. We need a wall in certain parts. No, not in all parts, but in certain parts of a 2,000-mile border, we need a wall.
How much money?
We are doing it much under budget. We're actually way under budget on the areas that we've renovated and areas that we've built. I would say if we got $5 billion, we could do a tremendous chunk of wall.
Mr. President, are you willing to accept less, though, and are your guests?
Well, we're going to see. We're going to see. Look, we have to have the wall. This isn't a question. This is a national emergency. Drugs are pouring into our country. People with tremendous medical difficulty and medical problems are pouring in, and in many cases, it's contagious. They're pouring into our country. We have to have border security. We have to have a wall as part of border security. And I don't think we really disagree so much. I also know that, Nancy's in a situation where it's not easy for her to talk right now, and I understand that, and I fully understand that. We're going to have a good discussion, and we're going to see what happens. But we have to have border security.
Mr. President, please don't characterize the strength that I bring to this meeting as the leader of the House Democrats who just won a big victory.
Elections have consequences, Mr. President.
Let me just say.
That's right. And that's why the country is doing so well.
What the president is representing in terms of his cards over there are not factual. We have to have an evidence-based conversation about what does work, what money has been spent, and how effective it is. This is about the security of our country. We take an oath to protect and defend. And we don't want to have that mischaracterized by anyone. And
I agree with that. No, I agree with that.
So let us have a conversation where we don't have to contradict in public the statistics that you put forth, but instead can have a conversation about what will really work and what the American people deserve from us at this uncertain time in their lives.
The one thing I think we can agree on is we shouldn't shut down the government over a dispute. And you want to shut it down. You keep talking about it.
The last time, Chuck, you shut it down.
No.
And then you opened it up very
20
quickly. And
20 times.
I don't want to do what you did.
20 times you have called for, I will shut down the government if I don't get my wall. None of us have said.
You want to know something?
You've said it.
Okay, you want to put that on my...
You've said it.
I'll take it.
Okay, good.
You know what I'll say? Yes. If we don't get what we want, one way or the other, whether it's through you, through a military, through anything you want to call, I will shut down the government.
Okay,
absolutely.
fair enough.
And I am proud, and I'll tell you what,
disagree.
I am proud to shut down the government for border security, Chuck, because the people of this country don't want criminals and people that have lots of problems and drugs pouring into our country. So I will take the mantle. I will be the one to shut it down. I'm not going to blame you for it. The last time you shut it down, it didn't work. I will take the mantle of shutting down. And I'm going to shut it down for border
But we
security.
believe you shouldn't shut it down.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Wow, they really suck. Look at how they treat President Trump. Yeah, well, but look at how he fought. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Like, no, Nancy, you can't speak because you're an idiot.
But she didn't want the cameras there. She was really, I didn't play the whole thing because it wasn't that long, but it was pretty long. At one point, she says, "We can't negotiate with cameras," and he says, "It's called transparency." Look it up. It's a great clip.
That should be his ad. That should be his ad.
It should be his ad.
And no, I don't have AT&T, Dominic. I have Verizon.
Yeah, evidence.
The internet hates us.
I just wish Nancy would go away. We all do. Who did we lose today? Cinema. Cinema's not running again. Yay! I can't stand these people. Everybody loves President Trump. If you don't love him, you're thinking about him. So I would say if everybody who thought about President Trump daily voted for him, he'd have 99% of the vote. That has to go viral. Yeah, well, let's everybody post it. Post it.
We're gonna say goodbye to Facebook.
I got it from YouTube. Yeah. All right. Trump was president, not them. He's been right about everything. Yes, he has. Does Jen have okay, all right. So why do we need locks on our doors then? Leave your homes and cars open. Yeah, well, guess what? President Biden is so worried about border security, and he's pushing for that National Security Act. Jenny, guess what he's been doing for the past couple of years?
Shitting his pants.
Okay. That too. But remember, well, I'm just going to let you watch. 320,000 migrants flown into the U.S.
Biden administration reportedly admitting to secretly flying 320,000 illegal migrants into 43 U.S. airports last year. This is a blockbuster admission. According to the Center for Immigration Studies, this was part of President Biden's expansion of the CBP One app. CBP One app. It allows migrants to apply for travel authorization and temporary humanitarian release from these airports. Customs and Border Patrol sources told Fox News that Border Patrol apprehended more than 141,000 illegal migrants in February. And of that number, over 70% were in blue states: Arizona, California, New Mexico. Texas, which has 5 out of the 9 Border Patrol sectors along the border, saw just over 42,000 apprehensions in February. I mean, this is pretty stunning that the administration is admitting that they actually took these migrants and flew them into cities and states across the country. Rebecca, remember when the New York Post had cameras in Westchester and they caught all these migrants getting off the plane, and the White House would not say a thing about it? They wouldn't admit it. And now we know they're admitting, yes, they have enabled these migrants to go to cities across the country, Rebecca.
You know, Maria, I know the days of Watergate are over and we don't have these major political bombshells. But when you have an administration that has taken the stance that they will come out every single day and beat the American public over the head, that if Congress doesn't do something, nothing's going to get fixed, that it's up to Congress, the president is powerless. And then you find out that not only did he cancel all of the executive orders remaining in Mexico that Trump successfully, dealt with the border crisis on, but they enable this app to have illegal immigrants across the world, Maria, request asylum. Then NGOs and humanitarian groups get involved, schedule their travel, get them here. And then here's the worst part. The administration won't even tell us the airports because they can do this program under cover of night and not let us know. But if we, the American public, demand to know these 43 airports, no, that's an operational problem that could create vulnerabilities. We can't publicize what we're doing because then people could attack it. This has got to stop. We didn't vote for this. We don't accept this. This is not the rule.
So it turns out that the CBP One app, it's a travel agency. It's a travel agency for illegal migrants who want to come to America. That's what it is. We all wondered what the hell it was. Well, that's what it is. Basically, if you're in another country and you want to come here and you want to claim asylum, is all you have to do is, schedule on the app, and they're going to fly you into America. And they're flying them in to blue states. Guess why? Guess why? Because as of the 2020 census, New York, Arizona, California, a couple of other states lost people. And so their congressional districts, they lost congressional districts. And when you lose a congressional district, you also lose electors for the presidential election. Now, just think about it. These migrants, remember the migrant caravans that were lining up to come to America in 2018? And Trump told them, don't come here because if you come here illegally, our military is going to stop you. Well, turns out that if they had gotten to America by 2020, they could be counted in the U.S. Census of 2020. You don't have to be a citizen to be counted in the census. The census is what they go by to draw the congressional districts. And the congressional districts become the number of electors that each state gets. Well, as these blue states are losing electors, they're in trouble. So in order to keep their electors up, California and New York especially, they are getting these migrants in to be counted in the census. Trump thwarted them in 2020 because he stopped them. But Biden opened up the floodgates, and now the next census is 2030. But think about that. Think about that for a minute. They are finding a way to have these non-citizens change the outcome of our presidential election.